Welcome to Ottawa, Kansas, a pleasant community located about 40 minutes from Kansas City, and home to the world leader of purpose-built trailer movers, Ottawa Truck. Located on 43 acres on the north side of Ottawa, you'll find the headquarters for Ottawa Truck, as well as the manufacturing facility and parts distribution center for the company. Our parts distribution center is a new 25,000 square foot facility housing over $2 million worth of parts and dedicated to supporting Ottawa Trucks after the sale. Let's begin your tour by following a typical order through the process. Each new order is reviewed by one of our sales coordinators. Once the order is approved, it is then scheduled for production. Any orders that require special engineering are forwarded to our state-of-the-art engineering department. Our engineers are also continually looking to improve our product to provide the most advanced trailer mover in the industry. The manufacturing process begins in the fabrication shop, where over 90% of the fabricated parts are made. Flat steel is transformed into over 500 different parts. These parts are welded together to make various sub-assemblies, such as the fifth wheel boom as shown here. All frame rails are formed and holes are pre-punched to allow for the consistent placement of optional equipment, as well as the ease of adding or replacing parts later. The chassis is then placed on a setup jig, guaranteeing the accurate placement of parts, as well as the squaring of the chassis. The chassis is then welded. Ottawa is the only manufacturer in the industry to use this method of welding to assure the accuracy of the construction. Notice the inner frame reinforcement that is standard on all Ottawas. All fabricated parts are then placed on a conveyor and moved into the shot peen chamber, where all rust and contaminants are removed, enabling the powder coat to adhere to all surfaces. The powder coat is electrostatically applied, so the coating adheres to every portion of the part. The parts are then baked at about 400 degrees to produce a hard shell finish, protecting the parts from rust and corrosion. The assembly process then begins with the chassis assembly. Basic wiring, air tanks, and axles are added to the frame. The completed chassis is then moved to the automated assembly line, which is timed to allow the proper installation of all components. Here the fifth wheel boom, fuel tank, bumper, and any parts that should be painted are added to the chassis. The hydraulic system, which has weatherhead hoses with O-ring fittings, is installed. This is another one of the many Ottawa exclusives. All lines and hoses are masked prior to the chassis entering the paint booth. The chassis is then top-coated to give a consistent finished look to the entire chassis. While this is being done, the engine that is specified for this truck is being prepared for installation. All hoses and optional items are added, and the engine is then transferred to the assembly line. As the chassis comes out of the paint booth, the engine and transmission are then installed. The chassis then progresses down the assembly line, where the exhaust, batteries, fluids, and customer-specified options are added. At the same time as the chassis assembly takes place, the cab and deck are being assembled. All deck parts are powder-coated prior to the deck and cab being bolted together. By bolting rather than welding the deck and cab together, the risk of corrosion is greatly reduced. After the deck is assembled, a foam gasket is placed on the deck, and then the cab is bolted to it. Then the cab and the deck are moved into the paint booth for the final application of the customer's choice of color of urethane paint, which is baked onto the unit at 175 degrees for 45 minutes. All dash panels, the seat, windows, and mirrors are added per the specifications of the unit. Note that all the wiring is color-coded and clearly marked, crimped, and soldered, and a weather pack connector is added. You'll only find this on Ottawas. The cab is then moved to the main assembly line to be united with its chassis. Once the cab and chassis become a unit, all cab-to-chassis connections are made. Wheels and tires are installed, and the vehicle is now ready to be tested. All Ottawas are fully tested to assure all systems are operating properly. A quality assurance inspection is performed on each vehicle. The fifth wheel mechanism is tested to assure that it is operating properly prior to leaving the factory. Each truck is then taken on a road test to check for operational defects. After final adjustments and detailing, the vehicle is ready to be shipped. Our goal at Ottawa is to continue to provide a vehicle that is the industry standard. Our plant has received the coveted ISO 9001 certification for manufacturing and quality processes, as well as the ISO 14001 certification for environmental impact, so you know you are taking delivery of the highest quality, best performing, purpose-built trailer mover available. In addition, Ottawa has the largest dealer network in the industry to better serve our customers, including sales, parts, and service. If you'd like additional information on our products, visit our website at www.kalmarin-northamerica.com.